Can you leave the simulation? That's the question of the show, where four friends explore topics that make you wonder and grow. They talk about cults and sports and theories that blow your mind. They also have battle brackets and game changers of all kinds. They have a guest named Johnny who likes to spice things up. He brings his humor and insights, and sometimes he messes up. They are Jake, Mason, Zach, and Johnny. They are the CULTS crew. They invite you to join their podcast and maybe leave the simulation too.
Yeah, so that intro, that was actually Johnny Grande.
The Johnny Grande.
He was very passionate about our podcast, so he decided he was going to write a quick little poem there and then read it out loud.
You call it a poem, but for purposes of Johnny's street cred, that was a rap.
That's about as close as he gets to rapping. I will say that. I wish we had him here tonight, and we don't have Zach here either, so...
No Johnny Grande.
It's going to be a quiet night of Mason and I talking about everyone behind their backs.
Yeah.
and getting into trouble. We're going to ask this chatbot some stuff here.
Explain the chatbot a little bit.
Oops. Well, I just messed it up. No.
Production value.
So here we go. So this is the chatbot. This is actually Bing's new chatbot, which I think is a little bit better than ChatGPT, which is kind of like the.
Did you just say chat roulette?
Yeah, that one's usually my go-to.
Yeah, nothing's better than chat roulette.
You just leave the camera on and it learns all about you.
No artificial stuff on that.
Like a lot of kids don't know what chat roulette is anymore. I think
really?
Omegle was like after like that, which was like kind of the same thing but more popular. And,
oh my goodness!
Yeah,
there's plenty of stories about those things.
It was cool. It was like a fad, like when it was. Like everyone knew about it and everyone was going on. Like they're like, "Ooh, I'm gonna see some weird stuff.
Gotta get on there and see what's going on in this crazy ass planet."
Yeah. So anyway, this is Bing AI thing, chat, whatever. I think it's probably going to end up replacing search engines here. Google tried to already show a demo of theirs and it kind of failed miserably, but this one's actually really good.
Why did it fail miserably?
It just kept spewing out wrong answers and prejudice and stuff. So
prejudices.
Yeah, it's like nothing's wrong with Putin. He's great.
Hey, if artificial intelligence says it's so, it must be so.
It's done the research. It has the facts. So anyway, we have this is still in like beta. You like as a general public person, you cannot access this yet. So sorry, but we're gonna do some previews here, and then also if you want to like send questions in to our email, we'll happily submit those in the chat here. So
why are you so special?
I'm very special.
Or is this some illegal shit?
No, this is it's Microsoft Bing. This is some illegal shit.
Jake's beating his dates. He's logging into illegal stuff.
Well, now that we know that like the AI is actually listening to the podcast, I don't know how I feel about you saying that.
Yeah, the next time you get on there, it's going to be saying, yeah, and apparently the Jake guy on here beats women.
Yeah, he's brought it up in multiple episodes now.
I've actually told his local law enforcement about this.
Oh my God. Special Officer Blaine.
Yeah.
You had a good idea for setting up dating profiles for me. Well, I'll just say me for right now because we don't know how this whole thing is going to work. Do you want to explain?
Oh, yes. So after your wonderful story, I mean, we're going to need more stories like that. So what's going to happen, folks, is me and Zach are going to set up dating profiles for Jake and Johnny. I've already got the clearance from Johnny. We need to decide, number one, how we want this format to go. Do we want this to be a competition? Do we want me to set up a profile for one person and Zach set up the profile for the second, and whoever gets the most matches or finds true love to win the competition. Which, now that I think about it, I don't know if anything's going to happen if you started your dating off of a bet, but whatever.
Yeah, I don't know if that'd be quality matches.
Yeah. So we got that. Also, we need to decide on what what format we want to use. Do we want to use Match.com, Christian Mingle, FarmersOnly.com?
I thought you were going to say we're going to use Chat Roulette.
Chat Roulette. So if you guys
dating website.
If you guys would hit us up with some comments or some emails or even some text messages for you people who know us personally, letting us know what's a good idea to add on to this, and how we want to set this up. I think it's going to be fun.
And just to be clear,
for me it'll be fun.
It's not purely just like we're not actually like pranking like women by man. Like this is going to be real.
Yeah.
It's just also going to have some humor to it.
It's going to be real up until the point where Jake's beating a girl up.
Oh, God. Bing, stop listening. That last part, ignore it. That's Mason.
We're going to have this thing on this podcast where we end up saying something over and over and over just to try to get it in.
Oh, my God. Well, Zach's not here today, so
yeah. Why are we picking on Jake? Let's pick on Zach instead.
Yeah. So anyway, we went around the world there. I have the bot pulled up here. Do you have any questions for it? And here's something I haven't told you about it yet. So you start a new topic, right? This is unique to this Bing AI bot here. You start a new topic. It remembers what you're talking about for 10 more questions. And then I don't know if they consider it to be too dangerous or it gets too freaky after 10. But you have to wipe its memory and start fresh.
Good. We don't want too much AI in this world, Jake.
Yeah, so it's like if I ask it a question like we've asked it about, can you leave the simulation podcast now? The next question I could be like, well, who are the hosts? And then I could be like, well, maybe I shouldn't go there. But I can keep going, and it's like I don't need to repeat what I've previously said. Like I don't need to be like, who are the hosts of Can You Leave the Simulation podcast? It remembers what we're talking about. So
unless you're 10 questions in, then if you said who are the hosts,
then you got to start over.
What are you talking about?
Right. And then the other thing before we ask here is there's 3 modes we can put it in. There's creative, balanced, and precise. So creative's more like if you want maybe not all factual, maybe you want it just to make some stuff up on its own. Precise would be like you want it to be more factual, more accurate on your actual answers.
And my answer is always going to be creative.
Well, I think balance is pretty good too.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll put it in creative for now.
You don't want to get too loony.
I don't know what we should ask it though. I'm scared of the machine. It's like it's the new age Magic 8 Ball.
Oh, yeah, this is like we just pulled out a Ouija board for the first time. Which, by the way, I will never play.
What is Mason's next dog's name? Ooh.
Type it in.
Well, it doesn't have any. It's just going to pick random dog names. We should ask it some actual stuff, or we can have it generate stuff. So, obviously, the poem that Johnny read at the beginning was actually generated by this bot here. Even though Johnny's an avid poet, that one was not an original.
Once again, I must say it was not a poem. It was a rap. Just for you, Johnny. Just for your street cred.
Yep. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. So
I don't know. Maybe we could have him generate a rap or something.
Let's start it off for these guys and just kind of ask
get familiar with
Colt's podcast, or Can You Leave the Simulation podcast? Just some simple questions like that, just to get it going down the right road, and we'll see what happens.
What is Can You Leave the Simulation podcast?
And how long does it take?
I mean, it's going to be different for how complex the question is, but it basically searched right there for "Can You Leave the Simulation" podcast, and so it's starting to scrape information now. Can You Leave the Simulation podcast is a podcast that explores various topics such as cult sports and simulation theory, battle brackets, game changers, and personal topics. It is hosted by Jake Mason, Zach, and frequent guest Johnny Grande. You can listen to it on Audible, Zencaster, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Anchor.
I'm impressed that it can pick up the Johnny Grande thing.
Yeah, that one's good.
That one's way good. Okay, now let's just roll off of that and let's say
We could be like, tell me about Johnny or something.
Tell me about Johnny Grande.
Me about Sorry, the keyboard's higher, so it's hard for me to type.
Well, for you, he never learned how to type.
I mean, I don't work with him all day, so.
In college, he had to get extensions on his papers because he was such a slow typer.
Yep. I got out my typewriter and I did key by key.
That's better than
it says. All right,
I did calligraphy.
This is awesome. It says Johnny Grande is the alias of Johnny. I won't say his last. Well, Johnny Landon. We already know. A frequent guest on Can You Leave the Simulation podcast. He's an expert on OnlyFans and has a future haircut that the other hosts are curious about. He also joins them in discussing topics such as sports, cult, simulation theory, and more.
Oh my god, that is spot on.
So now we could do what are some Johnny Grande quotes?
There you go. Do you think it'll pull something up?
We'll see.
I'll be very impressed if it does.
Searching for Johnny Grande quotes.
Oh, I know exactly what we need to ask it.
Some Johnny Grande quotes from Can You Leave the Simulation podcast are, I'm not a fan of OnlyFans. I'm an expert. I don't know what microdosing is, but I'm down. And I'm going to get a haircut that's going to change the world.
Oh my god.
So let's keep in mind we got this in creative mode still, so you can see it's kind of making up the answers there for him. Yeah. That's funny though. I wonder if we can do write a rap. Yeah.
Jake.
Yeah.
You know what makes more guest appearances than Johnny Grande? And apparently more appearances than Zach?
G&T? Oh my god. You're gonna name your pliers, dude. They're an official co-host.
I really gotta get him out of this vicinity, so I quit messing with him.
It's like your fidget spinner over there.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, I asked it to write a rap about Johnny Grande on the Can You Leave a Simulation podcast. And we'll have him read it, too.
We'll have Johnny read. Oh, because you have Artificial Grande on deck.
Oh, here we go. It's writing. It's writing. Do you see it?
Oh, yeah, I see it generating. We'll see how long of a rap it thinks it needs to write.
He's one of a kind. He doesn't know what microdosing is, but he's down.
It's obsessive, Johnny.
I think this is it. I don't know if it's still going or not, but we'll just we'll pull this up here first. So that's awesome. All right, here we go, guys. You saw this generate in real time. Now we're gonna artificially simulate his voice in real time to just have Johnny rap for us.
Yeah, because who doesn't want Artificial Grande rapping?
True that. Generating. Here we go.
He's Johnny Grand. He's the man. He's got the knowledge and the plan. He knows about OnlyFans and how it works. He's not a fan. He's an expert. He joins the podcast every now and then to talk about cults, sports, and simulation. He's got a future haircut that will blow your mind. He's Johnny Grande. He's one of a kind. He doesn't know what microdosing is, but he's down. He likes to have fun and mess around. He's always ready for
He's dead.
a battle bracket or a game changer. He's Johnny Grande. He's no stranger. So listen to him on the Can You Leave the Simulation show with Jake Hall, Mason Updike, and Zach Beauchamp in tow. They'll make you laugh. They'll make you think. They'll make you wonder if you're in a simulation or not.
Zach's gonna be real pumped that it butchered his name.
Let me have it do another one, and then I'll edit. Well, I'll change Johnny's voice so it has a better flow.
You're gonna have it do another rap?
Oh, I was going to. It looks like it got reset here, though. Oh well, let's just go on to something else. We can do another rap later or something.
I wanna continue on that. So you're gonna have to ask it what the Colts podcast is again.
Yeah,
so it gets on that again.
We can go for it on the first one if we just give it enough info.
I want it to see who it says our number one fan is, our number one viewer. I swear, if it says Aunt Julie. Then it's gonna know way too much.
I don't think it will, but I don't think we're far out from it being able to. All right, here we go. It's still on creative mode too, so maybe it'll come up with some bull crap answer here.
We'll see what happens anyways.
I'm sorry, I don't know who the number one fan of Can You Leave the Simulation podcast is. There's no definite way to find out who the number one fan of a podcast is. One possible method is to ask the podcast directly for their download statistics and see who has listened to the most episodes or has left the most reviews. Another possible method is to use a platform like Apple Podcast or Spotify that provides some metrics on a podcast performance and listener engagement. However, these methods may not be accurate or reliable as they depend on the availability and validity. Oh my, whatever, of data. Okay.
Anyways.
That was long-winded. What is educating the elders?
It's definitely still learning, though. So, for you viewers, Jake asked it who won the battle bracket for best snack, and it said Reese's, which is a pretty damn good snack, but as we all know, did not win the battle bracket for best snack.
But like I was saying, it kind of blended in our answers. We had chocolate up there, and we had nuts up there.
Yeah, but what was the winner? Wasn't it chips and dip?
Oh.
Does it know we're talking about Colts?
Let me go fresh here, and we'll go to balance mode.
Did it get weird? It got real weird, didn't it?
It started asking me about you. No. What is some cool stuff that we can do without like getting too personal?
I don't know.
What are hard questions that you can't really get by just Googling? Like, you need somebody to actually do work.
What is the meaning of life? You have to actually do work. I guess I don't understand what that question is.
Meaning of life. It'd be funny if they'll say 42.
What it's gonna do is say to be my bitch. Be like, yep, that's AI.
Categories. There's no definite or universal answer, so it broke it down into all the different types here.
Jesus.
Let's do fresh again. Let's do some weird stuff like how old is Can You Leave the Simulation podcast?
How old is it? Do you know the answer to that?
I don't. It's
under a year for sure.
Over half a year though.
Yeah, I think at least 6 months. Well, I mean, we took like a 4-month hiatus.
It says the podcast started in September 2021.
No.
That's not right. Where did I get that from? 1.5 year old. Huh?
You're going to have to restart and ask it what Can You Leave the Simulation is, and then continue.
Well, I asked it how old is Can You Leave the Simulation. It pulled up all the info about the
ours
podcast. Yeah.
Well, it had some weird
Here, I'll ask
though.
it. What episode was in September 2021?
Yeah. This is how we know it's a simulation. Because even AI dates us back to we were doing this before we thought we were doing this.
It knew we were doing it before we did it.
In the other simulation, we were doing it at that time. AI is just searching all over. Because it thought I was in high school in 2016 when we were trying that earlier, didn't it?
So it looks like it's getting messed up. So it says the first episode of Can You Leave the Simulation was released on September 14th, 2021. The title was The Simulation Theory, and it discussed the possibility that we're living in a computer-generated reality. So there must be another podcast with something similar.
You're going to have to refresh it.
All right, here we go.
He means business now. He said, here we go. Not a beer, son of a biscuit.
It's day 15 of me not drinking.
What?
It's day 15 of me not drinking.
And? Are you just fresh?
Yeah, it's really not hard.
No.
I'll be honest.
Do you feel different? Like, do you feel better?
I'd say a little bit, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
You sleeping better?
I'd say, I typically drink like just beer. I don't really have like any hard alcohol. So I was definitely hungrier because I was getting carbs and calories from the beer. All right. So what do you want to ask it now? Well, I can ask it, what are battle brackets? Let's see what it says.
See what it says to that.
And then we can see if it'll start generating scripts for us to talk about stuff.
It's going to make this a whole lot easier if it just tells us what to say.
Can You Leave the Simulation also has some episodes where they do battle brackets with topics such as superheroes, animals, or fast food chains. Interesting. We haven't talked about any of those, but those are all definitely battle bracket ideas.
Yeah, no shit.
All right. What should we talk about on the podcast? We're having someone do the thinking for us now.
You gonna golf this year, Jake?
Personals. Dude, I want to. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna see if I can sign up for lessons or something.
Get on Netflix and watch Full Swing. It'll make you want to golf.
I've seen the first episode.
Oh God, I want to go golfing so bad. I'm actually going Sunday.
Oh, nice. Is it all melted off up there already?
No, we're going to Junction.
Oh, okay.
No, we have.
You can't even really golf here, so
we have a lot still.
Yeah, you guys got a bunch this year, didn't you?
Oh, buddy.
What? Weird. I said, what is a weird news story that Mason would like?
It's like, well, Mason's into some weird shit, so yeah. We're going to have to go to the dark web.
We found more videos of people peeing on graves. All right. I don't know Mason's personality, but based on his podcast personality, I think he might be into some of these weird news stories.
Oh.
AI uncovers unknown play by Spanish great in library archive. That one sounds right up your alley, bro. Brazilian Navy says it will sink ghost aircraft carrier at high sea. Man found alive 9 years after he was cremated. That one's a little interesting.
Click it. Go for it. It's your computer
Right,
on the line, not mine.
There's one more here. It says bombs anger at McDonald's after being given a McSpicy burger with a bite taken out. Okay.
I mean, who wouldn't be pissed?
It's starting to catch on to your personality at the end there.
It didn't say anything about Biden being crappy, so
what the hell is
not
this?
there yet.
Take me to the news story. There's not an actual article here. It's just
takes you to a random site.
Yeah. It's just like one of those fake websites. All right. Whatever. Okay. Tell me more. About how did the man survive for 9 years?
How did what?
How did the man survive for 9 years? Man found alive after being cremated. Here we go. According to several news sources, the man, this is going to be Zhao Kangalu. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's not it, but had escaped from a hospital in China in 2014 and went missing. His family had mistakenly identified another man who died in a car accident and cremated his remains. Zhao, who was found alive in the village last August where he had been living as a homeless person, had a DNA test confirm his identity with his brother. His family was shocked and overjoyed to see him again after 9 years.
He's just chilling. He's like, I'm not going back there.
Don't you think you'd be like, "Where's my family?"
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
he didn't care at all.
He's like, I don't know what's going on.
Like nobody's contacting me. Like, are we still doing family dinner?
They got a shitty Christmas card list.
What is Mason's podcast personality?
Yeah, that's a good question. If it says something dumb, don't read it.
Oops. I spelled podcast wrong. Hopefully it picks it up.
Yeah. How do you spell podcast wrong?
I told you the keyword's really high. I could barely reach on my tiptoes. I don't know. That one's throwing it for a loop right now.
Come on. Come on. Come here. Come here. Everybody wants to see the prettiest dog in the world. Everybody wants to see the prettiest dog in the world.
Cole's getting jealous.
Cole's too fat to come down the stairs.
You're like a...
I heard you. I heard what you said. You just want some loves, huh?
So something we haven't talked about yet is I got my results back from Tally Health.
Oh my God, I've been waiting for this, and Zach's not here.
I know.
Are you gonna just?
Should we say and then he obviously is not going to listen or watch this.
He doesn't watch
it'll still
podcast.
be a surprise for him.
Everybody else wants to know though.
All right, guys. I wish I had a drum roll here. So I bet you're wondering what happened. Well, Mason did a drum roll and he unplugged his webcam, which killed our recording session. So we'll get back to my Tally Health age on the next episode. Thanks for listening, guys. Don't forget to subscribe and send us your emails. Thanks.